Here's the keys then, and don't break this one.
Of course I won't. You know me. It's been 5 years since I've driven a car with an engine, so I thought it'd be a laugh if I got back in one and had a go. Maybe I've been missing, the love of a engine and all the complexity that comes with. Let's go for a drive in this lovely 1 litre Ford Fiesta that happens to be my parents' and see what happens. Firstly, how do you start it? Where's the start button? Keys in the ignition, make sure I'm not in gear, foot on the clutch. Okay, we have noise. Oh, it's weird, I'm rumbling. They're pretty lights on the nice little dashboard there, that's nice. Oh, I've got so much to do. Clutch, gears, handbrake. There's no sat nav, I've just noticed, so how do you know where you're going? Reverse, that way, oh, rolling. There's no reversing cameras either. How do you know if you're going to hit things behind you? You don't, I guess, do you? You just reverse and hope there's nothing there. Oh, pressure already. I've got a delivery van next to me. Oh, what brilliant parking. It's like I'm being tested straight away, isn't it? Look at this. Oh, it's flipping rolling. Stamp on the brakes. That's right, I don't have regen, of course. So the car just rolls to a deadly stop. No, it doesn't even stop, it just rolls to deadly. That's what it does. Goodness me, it seems so dangerous. Come on, I used to be a very smooth driver when I did drive cars with gears and clutch. It's just that coasting thing that's so strange, to just coast along. Let me tell you some wonderful specs about this car while I'm here then. This is the 1 litre turbo EcoBoost Z-Tech variety of the Ford Fiesta. This has 3 cylinders, 99 brake horsepower, and a 0 to 60 in 11.2 seconds. But I don't suppose my parents bought this for the pure thrill and the speed of the beast. The official average miles per gallon is around about 75 miles per gallon, but in my measurements these days with electric cars, I wanted to know how many miles can it do on one tank and how much does that cost you to fill up. And I've been told it can hold about £50 worth of petrol, and it can do about 400 miles in total. Hang on, I've got to think. So just for comparison, if I was to spend £50 on electricity, that would get me something like 3,333 miles of range as I charge at home on an overnight tariff. Welcome to England then on this absolutely miserable rainy day where only the people are more miserable than the weather. Did I just say that? No, I didn't. But what I have noticed when I got in this car, although I couldn't precondition it to make it nice and toasty, it has of course just got up to temperature in the cabin quite nicely because all the buttons are just left alone to my mum and dad's favourite temperature, if you like. So that's good. I'm thinking of positives. I like the little blue dials. It's quite retro and nice to see little dials now. Revometer, what's that called? The rev counter, that's the one, and the speedo and petrol gauge there. Ooh, got to go around that corner. All right, let's give it some stick. Foot flat. Oh, that's so sweet. I must remember that I am not driving a Tesla, so I probably need to calm down a little bit on these roads, given this car's tiny little tyres. Although we've got an engine rumbling beneath my bottom, it's actually quite quiet in here. It's not, electric car quiet, obviously, but it's not as loud as I remembered cars being. I thought it would be a bit more rumbly. There's another positive. What else? Flipping rattle that's doing my head in. I'm going to pull over because I can't concentrate as well as talk. Let's just slip in here for a minute. I'll be honest, that seems like a lot of effort just to drive a car. That's what I'm feeling. I knew this would be the case. There's no way to say it, is there? It sounds rude. It's so dumb. This is the dumbest car, as in it's stupid. There's no safety features on it whatsoever. If somebody steps out in front of this car, it's not going to stop. If you have a heart attack in this car, it'll just roll and roll and roll until it hits an object. If you're in a Tesla, for example, you take your foot off the accelerator, it'll come to a gradual halt. It'll also stop if you're on autopilot, for example, on the motorway and have a heart attack. It'll just stop, pull over, put the hazards on for you, and hopefully save your life along with everyone else's. That's the dumbness I'm referring to. It's just not a smart car. There's that. It's awkward, but that's the truth. But if we're just looking at how it is for being a car, it's a perfectly adequate little car, isn't it? I suppose the MPGs are pretty good at 75, so 400 miles of range for a full tank of petrol to burn through. That's not bad. And it's relatively easy to operate, I suppose, for being a car with gears and engines and clutch and all the complexity of it. If you're used to it, I suppose it's just lovely, but it seems such a backward step for me to get into this. Try and operate it. It's just massively complicated. I think getting into any electric car is just levelling up. That's my overwhelming sense of what the electric car is. It's just the next generation of vehicle that's just easier to operate. It's safer. It's obviously more efficient. It's cheaper to run, especially if charging from home, which is a tenth of the cost, for example, if you do charge from home on an overnight tariff. I don't for the life of me know how anyone can get around in a car that doesn't have a massive sat-nav screen right in front of you, just where you can just say, take me to this place, and then it shows you where to go. I mean, forget all the entertainment and all that gubbins. I mean, for my parents' sake, they're not going to want to sit in their car and watch Netflix or YouTube, are they, or play games? But the centre screen just acts as a gigantic map. It's just always with you. You can see where you are and where you're going. Having no screen here at all just makes this car seem a bit prehistoric. Okay, right, it's raining quite a bit now. We don't have automatic wipers, do we? We don't have automatic lights either. Should have had my lights on. What else can I say about this then? What does that do? It's one coin holder. 12-volt port down there. Oh, and it's got a USB port. Wow, didn't know USB was invented when this car was. A radio. Is that a CD hole? Yeah, I think you can put a CD in there. I wonder if it's got a record player. Cheeky. Of course, we do have a little screen just there telling me the time that frankly looks like it's come straight from a Casio calculator. I'm sure it probably gives more information once you're driving. Let's test out the stereo. Tune. What on earth do these buttons do? I don't understand that symbol. What does that mean? Is that Windows when the engine's on? Oh, my camera's just fell off. Foot on the clutch. Turn the key. Make it rumble. Make smoke come out the back. Foot on the brake. Down on the clutch. Reverse a little bit without being able to see what's behind me. Into first we go. I think that's a long enough drive. I'll be honest. I want to get back in a Tesla. 5 years from not driving an internal combustion engine car, and I'm back to it like riding a bike. Easy peasy, for no reason at all. Let's do a 0 to 60. Go! Woo, wheel spin! No, I didn't even get to 60. It's not built for speed. Given it's a 3-cylinder, 1-litre engine, it's got a little... Who am I kidding? There's no acceleration here whatsoever. I didn't feel a thing. One thing I'm noticing, there's not enough room to the left of the clutch to allow my foot to sit back there nicely without interfering with the clutch pedal. That's a bit weird. Barely pressed a brake pedal in 5 years. It seems so strange to have to shove your foot onto that middle pedal and slam it down when you're used to regen, when you just take your foot off the accelerator and the car naturally slows for you and comes to a nice gradual stop. As interesting as it's been to drive, I really don't like it. I want to get back in an electric car. Oh, and speaking of which, here's a nice Model 3. Hello! Can I sum this up in a few words then? Yeah, weird, overly complicated, unnecessary, needs to level up. It's just so peculiar. Going back to a car with an engine, just nothing in it makes sense. Nothing in here makes sense. There's no pleasure I get from changing gears and using a clutch, using a handbrake, or having to use the brake constantly. Really does drive home the huge difference of driving an electric car. But of course, if you're driving around in a Porsche or Ferrari, you've got a really lovely classic car and you enjoy the process of gears and all the involvement that brings, then lovely, hats off to you. Have a lovely time driving it. But for the vast majority of people who are driving a car like this, it might as well be electric. Oh my goodness, I hate reversing and not seeing anything. All I've got is my little mirrors. I'm just guessing. I'm just looking at my phone screen thinking it's a reversing camera. It's not. Don't rely on that, for goodness sake. The last thing I want to do is damage this car. As pointed out in a previous video when I took my mum out for a spin in my Model 3,
Oh, what's that?
Lots of her cars that she insured me on when I was a kid accidentally, came back broken. It wasn't always to do with me. Well, one did blow up. That was probably something to do with me. Following these diesel cars, it stinks in here of diesel. The filtration system of a Tesla, it really is fantastic. But I guess since I've taken their car out, it would only be fair if I visited a petrol station for the first time in 5 years as well. I don't even know what side the cap's on though. Left side. Let's go there. It's petrol, so I must remember to put petrol in it. Okay, let's see how I get on and if I can remember what to do. Keys out, in neutral, handbrake on, foot off the clutch, take the key out. There's that microphone again. Proper weird filming this, aren't I? Okay. Open flap. What? Did you just stick it in there? Screwed and leaded. Oh yeah, just shove it in. Wasn't a cap that used to go on? No, okay, fine. 40 quid. Unbelievable.
But yeah, so you know when they were air roads, that they deliberately
Door. Well, that was hilarious. I've just spent longer in there queuing behind a couple of ladies who just would not stop chatting, and by the time I'd filled up, been into the shop, queued up, got back to my car, that's taken me about 10 minutes. Well, sometimes when I stop at a Tesla supercharger, I'm only there for 15 minutes. I've spent no time whatsoever over the past 5 years at petrol stations queuing up. Oh, hello Bruce. Nice to see you, pal. Well, thanks for joining me on this crazy little journey down memory lane. I hope you've enjoyed it. I made a video yesterday about Britain's last coal plant that's just closed down, so no one can now say that electric cars, in the UK at least, run on coal power. How nice is that? Check it out next, and I just want to say a massive thank you to all of my patrons that are supporting me to help get this channel off the ground. I really appreciate you. I'm Will, this is the Tesla Jigsaw. Bye for now.